All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thursday, May 14th. A couple minutes before the open. Let's go. Let's fucking go. A little quiet on the news front this morning. That was good. Retail sales this morning at 8:30, in line with expectations. Jobless claims were a little higher than expected, but not by any great margin. Actual 211,000 versus forecast of 205,000. So pretty much nothing burger in the news this morning. Some turmoil in UK politics, but UK doesn't really matter to anyone. So market's pretty calm. We were a little bit above the open or the close from yesterday on S&Ps. Um, Very jagged TPO. I mean, we have yet to find balance. This distribution that we formed yesterday tells you that the market's looking for something and did not find it. The market, you would hope if you're bullish and you want these markets to trend that you find balance somewhere so you can use that as a platform for future gains and future advances. But the market has yet to find balance after we've left the balance area of really 150 and 160. We've come close to finding balance, but I mean, this no, this isn't it. So curious to see what happens on S&Ps today. Maybe we find balance. Maybe we now do some crazy reversion. I don't know. We have to keep an open mind on S&Ps. I think the news flow that came out earlier this week was pretty bad with the CPI and the PPI data. But the markets were pretty resilient. They trended all day yesterday in the afternoon. So, I was watching crude a little bit pre-market. I was kind of down in the area that I was getting a little bit interested in after the move it had around 8:30 this morning, where a bunch of bids came in and the price could not fall, and that was down at around 99.50. So I'm kind of looking for the same thing around 100. We've got plenty of bid activity, but the price is not really staying above it. So keep an eye on crude. Curious as to what happens with S&Ps today. I mean, you really got to follow the flow. If the S&Ps want to be bullish today, despite being unable to find balance at these levels, let it be bullish. Follow the flow, right? We can't get too predictive with what future distribution shapes are going to look like. Distributions are really a reflection of past volume and not very predictive of future volume, but do give great points of reference for trades, and that's why we use them. So taking a market imbalance on S&P's 343 million. It's pretty decent. And as you can see, it moved price up. So that tells you that there wasn't a ton of sellers at the open. Peek back at crude. Yeah, I really have absolutely no intentions of shorting crude. No intentions. I'm only looking for long trades on crude. S&Ps, I kind of go either way. I am concerned about the lack of balance, but I mean, the flow has all been pretty bullish, especially yesterday. So not a great trended distribution yesterday. Like trended distributions are better after you find balance. To have jaggedness after jaggedness and TPOs and distributions is not that ideal, because it tells you that participants have not been agreeable in price. All right, they haven't found a price level in which they're both comfortable with trading, and that's how you find balance. So S&Ps at the open, trying to climb higher. The distribution on this weekly S&P chart, I mean, it's pretty well tapered up to 500. Right, with some of the overnight action that it did. I mean, if we get up there and it's just heavy on the offer and we get good volume taper and price can't really stay above the offers that come in, then, I think it might be a short down to like 470, this last point of more definable balance. Right, because it's not very clear where any balance area is up here. So, I mean, I think this is weak. It's weak longs. But we'll let it play out a little bit. No large transactions on the S&P since the open, and there was none pre-market. I'm pretty sure I had my computer open since like 8:50 at least, so there's been nothing on S&Ps unless this isn't working, which I wouldn't be surprised with trade of 8. Yeah, crude's just, at the lower end of this weekly distribution, right? That it's been formed over the last couple of days here with this kind of, consolidated sideways price action, right? You've tried to get higher a couple of times. You have not been able to do so. Doesn't look like there's been many tests lower. So that's probably what's happening now. Right? You have a consolidated range, test higher, it fails, so the next test is lower. Yeah, I mean, it kind of did. You look at these two tests. Yeah, I mean, you've tested lower. Ideally, I want price down near 100 on crude for a long. Just based off the way this distribution is, right? There's kind of low volume here, right in between 100 and 133 on crude. I think that's probably your best launching point, other than getting down to 99.33, but that would be off the table, right? Because you had so much absorption on the bid down here at 8:30 this morning that if you were bullish, they're not going to let it get down that far. So that's not really plausible, I don't think. S&Ps, where are you going? Still trying to climb higher. Get a little flat toppy, but pretty good activity on both the bid and the offer here. No plans of shorting it from this spot. I'd be interested to see if we can get up to 500 again and test these swing highs from 8:30 this morning, right? Because I marked the swing low in crude and the swing high in S&Ps. So testing those levels might be kind of critical for the cash session today. Let's go with the flow, baby. Let's go with the flow. See where things go today. Yep, good. Don't want to screw up order sizes. So we'll preload the correct size. No more economic news releases for this morning, I don't think. I'm just going to double check real quick. I think we're free and clear. Business inventory is at 10 o'clock. That's nothing burger. So, yeah, we're free and clear for today. Tomorrow, the 15th, Warsh takes over as the Fed chair. And then you have a couple news releases, but nothing major, I don't think. I don't like the way Financial Juice outlines it. Forex Factory is better for this. Yeah, there's nothing tomorrow. Friday. Yeah, so this is it. This is it for the week in terms of economic news releases. Pretty much. Pretty much. Volume in the first minute, 13,000. It's about in line with what we've been seeing this week, 13,000 to 15,000. So S&P is trying to stay above the bids that coming in at 488. All right, but the volume build here is kind of slow, right? You're already down. I mean, we quickly, right after open, went down to 5,000 contracts per minute, and now you're declining already down to 3,000. So probably not going to stay here. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of agreement in price. I will just check on the dime to see where crude is. Okay, crude looks like it's moving up, so let's take a peek. I mean, yeah, I'm bullish crude, but I just don't like this development, honestly. I didn't really do a good job of staying below the bid activity, and you're kind of staying underneath the offers. So that doesn't scream bullish to me at all. And especially now you're coming up on the underside of the weekly POC. It's a troublesome spot. There's my spoos. Good old spoos. Trying to make that climb higher on the spoos. Nothing in large size. Nothing. On crude or S&P. I'm almost inclined to think it's just not fucking working this morning. All right, fucking good old trade of 8. But keep in mind, traders back in the day in like the 70s and the early 80s traded with no up-to-date information. They traded with lagged information. It could be like 15-minute delayed information, and they still fucking traded it and were profitable. So what's your fucking excuse, right? Like, oh my God, I don't have my large orders this morning. I can't trade. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. So getting a little heavy on the offer, but price is holding. Price is moving up. No signs of a short in S&Ps. No real signs of a long. Structurally on the weekly, there's no good points of reference here. Maybe 484, but then 474. This is a fucking disgusting distribution for the day. It's so jagged because of the lack of the volume. Now, the lack of the volume up here might tell you something. All right, I don't want to just blindly short now that we're coming up on 500. Volume's tapering. We're staying underneath the offers, right? Well, give it a little more wiggle room. Don't just short this on the first test of 500 just because it's a previous swing high. All right, this market is pretty resilient. Crude still trying to climb. Load faster trade of 8. So you're staying above the offer activity there at 180. That's pretty good size, it looks like. Where is it? Or it's not. Yeah, crude's pretty light this morning. Pretty light. All right, back to S&Ps. S&Ps are moving a little bit better than crude is this morning. I've seen no real news out of China with the Trump meeting. Yeah, I don't really feel like. Oh, okay. So large transaction, 497.5, 113 contracts. Finally, so we do now confirm that trade of 8 is working with the time and sales. Hooray! Let's see what happens when these offers come in. Are you now staying below these offers again? Nope, you are not. You are not. You're staying above. Pretty resilient. But I mean, the offer activity that does come in here, right? When people are hitting the market buy, you're not getting very far. Another big order at 500. So we had 497.5 and then 500. Not the greatest taper, but I do like every time like heavy offers come in, you can't stay above it. But you need a little clarity because you were able to hold here. And then we also need to keep an eye on the volume, see if the volume starts dwindling or increasing as we move higher. If it starts dwindling, that the favor is bearish. It's not a very clean taper at the top here. It's too ledgy. Too ledgy for me. All right, crude's moving. Yeah, it's moving. I want it on a pullback. I'm not chasing crude. I want a good spot. We're going to be patient on crude. I lean very heavily bullish on crude. Do not want to short that. Because even if you ended the Iran war today, which you're not going to, Iran's not going to capitulate on some of the things that were non-negotiable about, which is nuclear weapons in the Strait of Hormuz. So, like oil, there's like a floor underneath oil right now. I don't think it's going away. And even if you do resolve the Iran conflict, like the damage that's been done to refining capacity in the Middle East is now greatly diminished. So I think you have more problems than you do solutions. So very heavy on the offer up here, around 500. You had a seller at 500, but you had a couple big buyers at 500 as well. So 500 is now becoming a key level for S&Ps right now. You're staying above the bids. right? The bids come in around 500 and you're staying above it. So you still have a bullish leaning in order flow here with S&Ps. So no plans to short that. I mean, I would love to short S&Ps, but it's just not giving you the flow. So crude is now starting to stay below the offers right at the POC of 101. Right, that's not a short for me. If you were bearish crude, that'd be a short for you. This is, I mean, it's not an overly well developed PLC, but like this whole spot here, 101 to 101.60, this high volume area, that's a good frame. That's a good point of reference for trading. It's pretty well developed. So if you were overall bearish crude and you're looking for spots to potentially short, I mean, ideally you're up here above the center of this distribution, right? You're on this side of the distribution between 101.40 and 102.50. But absent that, you start shorting when you get towards the middle, right? When the flow starts to confirm it, but the flow is in the wrong direction for us. I'm looking for bullish flow. All right, back to S&Ps. Sitting around these highs. Yeah, you're getting absorption, right? But like, look where the offers come in at, right? Pretty consistent around 500. Price doesn't really reject it all that cleanly. You've got bid activity down here at 497. That price is, for the most part, staying above, right? So this is still very much bullish flow despite the absorption numbers. But, you know, again, this can all change on a dime. I'm not going to just blindly take a short here at 500 until I start seeing signs that, you know, the flow is bearisher, and it's just not. Large buy at 502. Yeah, you don't really want the buys to be clustered. That's actually kind of bearish, right? If everyone's buying here at 500 and we're just not advancing above 500, that's absorption. All right, that's tremendous what just happened right there. I sell at 498. So you're getting mixed in the large transactions here at 500. Crude, I'm gonna check out the price, 188. Okay. I think I can just keep the price of crude in mind because I know where I kind of want it, and that's really around up 100, I think. So we'll just keep an eye on the price. I don't need to switch back and forth between that chart and this one for the moment. I'm more curious about S&Ps and what S&Ps have in mind today. I mean, the top of that distribution at 502 is just, it's weird. Very flat topish. Right? That means someone got a good price to fill their offers and they just reloaded it and price was unable to make it above. There's plenty of liquidity there at 502. Test it again and see what happens. All right, value area moved up on the daily distribution. We're still kind of stuck here at 500. Offers at 500, bids down at 498. And now you're just stuck in the middle with you. Through to 195, nothing burger. Yeah, that's pretty bullish right there on crude. All right, you're not quickly rejecting the PLC. Yeah, you stayed below the offers, but look at the heavy bid activity that came in and you stayed above it, right? And you're kind of on top of this previous swing range a little bit. On the underside of the PLC, on the other side of the weekly distribution, like this is the area you want to get long in, somewhere in here between 100 and I would say 180, right? Ideally. Getting long at this PLC right now. It's just, I don't want to chase it, but I mean, that's bullish. Long crude, baby. Now, does that weigh on S&Ps? You know, S&Ps have a lot more factors going into it, and crude is more of a commodity. There's more supply factors. S&Ps, you know, there's a multitude of factors that go into this. individual, a business, microeconomics, macroeconomics, interest rates, inflation. So heavy on the bid here on S&Ps. All right, price isn't resisting yet. You know, I maybe be more interested in shorting after you get a break at this 498, 497, and then maybe potentially retest. Right, because watch price just shoot right back up and stay above these bids right now. And these offers are not lifting price. All right, I'm selling it. At a little bit of a bad spot. I'm gonna, yeah. Oh my god. Put a stop in. Put a stop in. Yeah, that was a little dumb on my part. I think. Yep, for sure. Dummy, dumb. God damn it! I sold it right when it shot up, and I got in a bad spot. All right, this is a better price. This is a better spot to be shorting. So make sure there wasn't like some sort of news or something. Japanese yen suspected intervention. Hmm. All right, I'm selling it again at 500 and a half. I'll stop it at 505 and a half. $493 first target. Just this is very heavy offer activity. You're at the high of the distribution. It tapers off. This looks a lot better. When the bids come in, it doesn't lift price, but offers are suppressing price. All right, so you got a little bearish flow here. So hopefully now offers start coming in at the POC and price just cannot get above it. Anytime bids come in, price now stays below it. Much better spot to be in. So first target 493. I suspect maybe a breakdown of 496, 495 will do break even. I don't want to do it just yet. Crude had a little bit of a dip down into 150s. Now it's back up to 170s. All right, that was a little bit of a gyration. Wow. All right, break even. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on, folks. $500. What was the swing low? How close did we get to 493? God damn it. We almost hit it. Now it's going to come all the way back up. Fucker. That totally negates the trade, all this bid activity. If you stay above this, right? You came down and quickly rejected it. Yeah, I mean, that negates your trade for sure. That was a very quick rejection. That's a lot of bid activity, and price stayed well above it. Yeah, this trade is 100% done. Could be wrong. Could be wrong, folks. But I'm pretty sure this is cooked. Pretty sure this is cooked. Cruise back down to 156 cents. Quick peek, quick peek. Come on, trade evade, quick peaks, not sustained peaks here, please. Yeah, it's cooked. Exit. Exit. We'll take the 2 points. This is just not, this is not what you're looking for. You needed to stay below that. You did not stay below that. But you like the offer activity, so maybe when we get back up here, if you see this again, take it short again. I don't. You know, I'm troubled to be long here at 498 for some reason. But I mean, if a bunch of bids come in here again, you stay above it, like I don't know how you cannot, right? Sell at 497.5. If you come back up and stay above these bids again, I mean, I'm pretty sure I was right to close that based off this, right? All the bid activity and price was just, it could not sustain below it, right? If price comes up and stays above 497.5 right now, I think that's bullish. Oh, God damn it, you fuckers. Now you'll go to 493. Yeah, fuck you. Oh well. You did me dirty. You did me dirty. So crude is looking pretty good. I would like a push down on crude. That gets rejected. That would be ideal. Kind of keep an eye on that. Picking up some volume here in this low volume area. A little mix between the bid and the offer. So there's a little bit of balance here, right? In this low volume area, you might just spend some time here and rotate in this low volume area and fill it in. That's kind of why 493 was my first target for that short. Right, because it can very easily just stay within this range, and it looks like that's exactly what it's doing. Yeah, it's not what we want to see on crude. Not ideal. I don't know if that was a good low on the swing low on the S&Ps right there. It was pretty mixed order flow. We had bids and offers here. Let's see what happens as we try to move back above 500. There's a lot of activity here between 497.5 and 502. That's where all the large transactions have come in this morning. So heavy offer activity comes in at the POC and pushes you down. I don't know if that's a good swing low. Doesn't appear like it is. Could be wrong. Don't really want to short on the other side of this point of control. I would like to get above and get 500 again on an entry if we can. It might not get there. And again, we might just rotate within this range. But as the offers come in, price is resistant, which means absorption. Just want a good entry on crude. Ideally, that's what I hope for. So we're very rejective, kind of 492s. Right, but it's not been overwhelmingly on the bid. It's a pretty good drop off in the volume as we get down to this level. A lot more volume development within this area. Like I'm having trouble seeing a short here at all. Like if you get a bunch of bids that come in here in this low volume area and prices above it, like more bids though, not that was a little two-sided. Like I want a good, strong, earnest attempt on behalf of sellers to really break that 492, and if they can't do it, well, let's get long. Right? You want heavy bid activity, a strong push, and then I want the rejection. See, so this is your attempt. Now stay above the bids. And you don't really want to be adding a ton of volume down here either. And crude is stuck at like 180. Yeah, damn, bro. You broke him. You broke him. Two-sided here. Two-sided. Saudi Arabia floats Middle Eastern non-aggression pact with Iran. Saudi Arabia has discussed the idea of a non-aggression pact between Middle East states and Iran as part of talks with the allies, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. And crude, not 185. Not moving. So now let's see what happens when you come back in this little volume area. I mean, we're heavy on the offer here, folks. Heavy. You had some bids there. Price still moving up. Heavy on the offer and price is moving up. Yeah, I'm curious what the hell this was all about. That was a quick move down. S&Ps. Crude didn't react. So it wasn't like a market-wide thing. All right, coming back up on this POC for the daily distribution. We are at the highs of the weekly distribution. We failed to get over 500. There's been some pretty good absorption on behalf of sellers at these levels. Price is probably going to be testing up above 500 again here. Like, I still like the idea of a long here if we have heavy bid activity in this low volume area. Yeah, we might actually find balance today too. You never know. All right, I'm buying it. 496 and 3/4. So got a little, not the greatest entry. 491 stop. Oh, I didn't purchase enough. That may be in my benefit. This needs to be 10. Yeah, I thought we were going to hold the bids here in this low volume area. So good thing we didn't place full order. So there's quite a bit of volume here. All right, I'll buy more. Right now we got the full position on. Stop still at 491. Now the average is 495 and a half, so that's better. I like that better. We'll target. Where's the volume coming in? Screw you. 501.70. We'll target 501. Yeah. All right, one sec, bud. Sorry, my son needed help with something. So targeting 501 still, I think. The top side of this distribution. Probably going to run into some offers here at 498. What do we have? 495? We'll stop part of it. Flat topish. So yeah, the absorption's there, folks. It's there. I think you can maybe try to make it through it. A little flat toppy. Because our target is so close to this POC, I don't want to 95.50. Like we could easily get stopped out here on the first piece. But because we're close enough to our first target, like I feel obliged to at least have part of it at break even. All right, bids come in and stay above it, please. Bids come in and stay above it. Crude 196, so you're probably sitting at the POC for the week, yes. That's good. So we're not, the offers that come in at the POC, you're just not very quickly rejecting price. The bid activity is trying to hold you up. Right? I mean, getting a little tapered on the distribution here, though. Yeah, we get stopped on this. We get stopped. The second stop's at 493 and a half. The first stop's at break even at 495 and a half. So right down here. And we're hoping that you just kind of hold this right below the POC and make a pop up. We get above the POC towards 500. You're absolutely tightening one of the stops very aggressively. Because of this volume taper that is now happening here, like you run out of volume here right above the POC. Like you need a good injection right now. Crude's doing nothing. All right, stopped on part of it. I'll put the other one at the break even. 494 and a quarter. All right, I don't want to take risk with this trade. You just got held up at the POC, low volume. Pretty, I mean, it's flat top. There's heavy absorption up here, folks. Someone is really leaning on this. So let's get better prices for entries if we can. I don't want to play too much within this range right here. All right, but if a bunch of bids come in again. Crude's moving up a little bit. It's finally above the PLC, I think. Yep. Heavy on the offer, though. It's trying to advance price. All right, back to S&Ps. And there's a good amount of bid activity right here. It's not really reducing price, right? Damn. Yeah, I don't know if I want to play it again. Because this is such a hang up here at the POC. Every time you get up here, you make less and less ground. So we'll do a little wait and see on S&Ps. We'll wait and see. All right, those offers coming in below now, well below the PLC, are holding you. Maybe you're trying to develop a balanced range today. 954. This is the last large transaction was at 954. A sell at 497.5. Right there. It's just where if you look at the 5-minute chart, S&Ps get very heavy on the offer around 500, right? But you're not super heavy on the bid below it, which makes me think this is a better high than it is a better low. What does crude look like on the 5? Yeah, if we get a good bid push down into like 101, I'd like crude. I'd like taking a long crude on that development. But I mean, who has a stronger footing here, buyers or sellers on S&Ps? Are you really going to try to just hold the line on sells at 500? It seems just like an arbitrary line in the sand. It's like you just literally were walking down the beach and like, this seems like a good spot. All right, the flow on this has been just overwhelmingly bullish over the last couple of weeks. All right, offers come in, you're not staying below the offers. The bids come in, you stay above the bids, right? This is a buy. I think we do break these absorption at 500, I think enough pressure is building on them. Like they've tried several times to break 492. You can't break 492. Bids come in and you stay above the bids. It's not overwhelmingly on the bid, but I think it's enough. Who knows? Maybe this now 498 and 500 hold, and then this just falls off a cliff. Crude. No, I don't want a part of crude yet. I want good structure to get behind. So volume's tapering again at 500. It just seems like it's such a tough freaking nut to crack today. So I don't know how I feel about long or short now. I'm a little indifferent because it could just be a balanced range for a day. If you look at the TPO chart, it looks very balanced. You have tapered edges on both sides. And the highs look a little better than the lows. But I mean, there's a lot of resiliency on behalf of this marker, man. Like someone is leaning on 500 today, but I mean, the price just doesn't go down. All right, you've been more rejective of the lows than you have of the highs. Like part of me wants to buy this on hopes that it just snaps 500. And all those people that have been selling 500 potentially have to be forced to cover. All right. I'm going to buy it. I'll stop it at 495. I think there's enough built here, right? These bids are on the higher side of the PLC and you're resisting them. Swing highs are 503. I don't want that to be the target though. This is too close to entry. Maybe do a projected move from the PLC to the highs. Call it 498 to 503. It's 5 points. 508. That seems high. Let's try it. I don't know if we're gonna get up there. Like this flat top action here is just really annoying. But flat tops usually are broken. Okay, I'll put in at 508. Didn't reject price when these offers came in. All right, kind of held there. So that's good. Come on now. Get some legs. What's crude doing? Crude flat at 101. Just above 101. Quick peek on crude. Nothing. I want it to be heavy on the bid at that POC for around 101. So still a little flat topish here. It's good. And just the struggle is real. There's someone just absolutely absorbing the buys here. I mean, how much inventory do you have, guys? Come on. Yeah, let's see some bid activity and not go down. That'd be ideal. Get some bid activity up here. Are trying to sell and price doesn't go down because buyers are active and on the limit. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Now price, stay above. Stay above. Yay. Don't get so heavy on the offer, please. Cut risk. $497 stop and everything. Yeah, you wouldn't want it to move back down through this. That's good. The bid's coming in at the very highs and you're staying above it. All right. Just give up. Just give up, buyer or seller, whoever you are. All right. You're trying to move away. Enough, I'll go break even on everything. And then I'll get tight as we move up, but we now need this to wiggle a little bit. And it could easily come back down here and test this and still move higher. But in terms of our trade, like this is, we want a short-term trade. And this could just be the swing high now at 503. Market could just absolutely be done here. So if there's a bunch of offers that come in and it holds down price, we'll just exit half the trade immediately. But so long as price stays above the heavy offer activity, we're good just to trail it a little bit. So we're just going to manage this a little bit. Swing high is 505 essentially. Yeah, I'm okay with those stops. Yeah, see, I mean, this market is just very resilient. It's very resilient. Just stay above the offers is all I'm asking. Is just continue to stay above the offers, but we're getting very heavy on the offer. All right, this is getting a little imbalanced up here, but price is still lifting. So, I mean, that's pretty good. We're getting tight with our one stop because we're approaching our target and we're getting very just heavy on the offer, but I mean, price is still lifting. So that's good. I think we'll hit our first target at 508 for sure. Crude. And just give me heavy bid activity at the PLC, would you? Oh, hit it, baby, hit it. All right, out at 1. At 506. That was the trailed stop to 508. So final stop at 504. If it wants to, just keep moving up, allow it to move up, and we'll do, I don't know how tight we'll keep the stop. Like 3 points or something. Like 4 points. 4 points from swing highs. So if the swing high is really 508, 504 stop. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Let's see if it just wants to give us a little bit more. All right, I mean, if a bunch of bids come in, you say above the bids, you might get more out of this. Let's go. At 509, we'll move to 505. I mean, structurally, 504 makes absolutely no sense. This is just a trailed stop on the last piece of the trade. After we got close to our first target was 506 out at 508 out at 506 because it came very close to hitting 508. So we got very aggressive with the tight stop. So he's staying above the bids. That's good. That's great. That's good. And keep it at 504 for now. Crude, what are you doing? You are doing nothing. Still. All right, no signs of bid activity, right, crude? Not really. I want it to be heavy. I want it to be pretty compelling on crude. It's not very compelling. So now you're flat topping again. Bids came in here at 505-ish and held it up. So 504, good stop. If it takes his house and then proceeds higher, oh, fucking well. But this is the second part of the trade. Seller at 505 3/4 just came in. Stay above that. Crude's moving away from the PLC now, 101.33. And I was questioning whether or not this was enough bid activity right here at 101.02. I didn't think it was. No. Probably going to get stopped out on S&Ps. Yep. Okay. Done with that trade. Good trade. Good trade. Now you're getting the real heavy bids. Right. You stay above this. I mean, we might want to re-enter, right? Because you're right on the top side of value. Like he broke this previous absorption level. When the offers came in, he didn't really stay below it. All right, this is being more driven by bid activity than it is absorption on the offer. Heavy on the bid. So good amount of sellers coming in. 505 3/4, 504 3/4, 504, 502.5. All right, they're selling. This is heavy bid activity. And you reject this, so at this place, you had some buys there. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Keep an eye on it though. Fucking crude's marching now. You fuck. Yeah, we missed crude. Oh well. Not enough bid activity at 101 in the PLC for the weekly distribution for me to justify it being long. Briefly check headlines, see where we're at in the world, see if anything's happening. Whole lot of nothing burgers. Whole lot of nothing burgers. So other than that one bad chase trade, doing pretty well today. So far, so good. It's a little bit of a mixed bag here, right? Like ideally, when all these bids came in, if price had wicked it and rejected it and stayed above all these bids right here, ooh, baby, that'd be another long. Right? Like I want to be short S&Ps fundamentally, but I mean, order flow is just like nope. So you got to follow the flow. Follow the flow. Because markets will remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. Remember that, folks. Remember that. 101.64 on crude. I'll take any sort of pullback on crude to get long. Anything. I mean, S&P is getting heavy on the bid, right above 500. They're just not getting below. All right, but I gotta go pee. Be right back. Anything happening? Offer activity coming in. It's getting absorbed. Looks like a little bit of a mixed picture here at 500. Pretty key psychological level for sure. 7,500. Absolutely. You might get hung up here for a little bit. Pretty normalized on the distribution thus far. All right, this is kind of an awkward high. Seems like a much better low than it does a high. That high looks awkward. Good volume taper though down here. If you look at the 5-minute chart, look at that volume taper. That's so clean. That's so clean. And if that was more heavily on the bid, I'd buy it for sure. An Indian flagship was sunk in the strait by an attack this week. Great. This heavy. All activities on the bid are right at the value area high. Can't get back into value. All this activity on the offer didn't hold down price. Like it's a long. It's definitely probably a long. Questionable. Questionable, folks. The crude pulled back a little bit. Yeah, but not in the right way. Things that make you go, Like we're obviously the offers obviously are holding. Well, I mean, it's not obvious, is it? We need to question that assumption because offers here hold price down right at 504, but the offers that came in right below at 503 did not. All right, so they were willing to absorb 504. They weren't willing really to absorb 503. Are we overly convinced that the bids held here? Because there wasn't really much on the bid activity, and when there was, it didn't get held up. Right? So are we overly convinced that we should be long here? I don't think so. I don't think we have enough evidence. We're playing a little bit loose with this value area high, but it's also not very well defined. So I would suspect that you would play a little loose with it. We'll see what happens. Crude still 101.44. Volume on S&P on this candle is pretty light, 2,000. Right at the 504. And we're light again at 1,600 here. So pretty light volumes up here. No news Nothing really going on. Trump's in China. I haven't really heard much about it. Why does it start at May 21st? And then go May 20th, May 19th, then May 18th, and May 14th. Why is it backwards? And then it goes to the 15th, and then to this, then jumps to June. This is what I'm talking about. Forex Factory. What the fuck, Forex Factory? It's May 21st, May 20th, May 19th, May 18th, May 14th, 15th. Why does it do that? I don't know. Not a whole lot going on here at the moment. I don't really see any opportunities presenting themselves. I mean, we're failing to get outside this value area high, though. All right, the absorption's there, but you're also being resistant to the PLC. Had very good volume taper at 500 on the 5-minute chart. So, like, where does price go from here? I would think we're going to test the highs and actually get a little higher, honestly. It just doesn't look that very clean up there. The volume's very jagged. I don't think the auction is complete. I think there's just a seller that's leaning up here. Like, people buy into this level and someone's happily providing liquidity here. That's why you get these flat top natures, because they're just literally holding on the price. It's not a range of prices. It's literally every time they get like 505 and a quarter, like, okay, sell. 505 and a quarter, sell. 505 and a quarter, sell. All right, and the offers are coming in. The price is still staying up there. We are definitely in balance, though. We're getting very heavy on the offer again. And this swing low at 500 wasn't overly heavily on the bid. So I don't know how good of a low that is, how good of a swing low that is. I don't necessarily want to be trying to pick tops on this. Right, because what would that look like in terms of order flow? You have price lifting with the offers, right? The activities on the offer, price lifts. Are we saying that we could short on the eventuality that once offers come in and price no longer stays above it? I mean, it could literally just do that for one candle, and the next candle continue the momentum. So I like a failure and then a retest, I would think. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I probably prefer from this order flow to take a long, but it's like, now where do you take the long? Are you taking that to value area high? I mean, maybe. No, I got something in my throat. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And just steadily marching higher. Just look how heavy you are on the offer, though. So heavy. Makes. I mean, did you really resist the bids here, guys? I don't think you did. I don't think you did. Don't want it. And on the weekly, like, what's a good level for crude? It's still very jagged up here. Yeah, 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 yeah. Just marching higher. Yeah, there's nothing about this says bearish. Nothing. Other than possibly the shape of the distribution is starting to look normalized. That eventually it's probably going to find a swing high up here. I mean, other than that, I don't know how you could short it. All that flow is bullish. All the activity that's on the offer and price just lists right alongside of it. So find something else to do. Crude's going nowhere. Let's see how Tom Hogard is doing. He's live and he says it's the EU session, but it's the US session, bro. I'm trying to look at Tom Hogard's screen right now. It's so tall, it's so tiny. It's like I'm looking at see what is 779. Yeah, he got killed yesterday in his account. Is this from today? Oh, looks like he got killed again this morning. God damn, Tom. Rough go of it these last couple of days. He's a great trader. I'm not worried about him. That's all. March higher is real, folks. March higher is real. These markets do not want to go down. I think crude is just a holding at 101.30. It's not doing anything. Low trade of 8. I mean, potentially, if you get a lot of bid activity down here at 101.20s, maybe, right? We're on the high side of the POC, right? It's kind of like a similar move right here where the price comes down the POC, it comes down again, but it can't actually get there. Crude's looking like it's kind of doing the same thing. Maybe. Potentially. Lots of absorption here at the highs. 513. Not a short, though. Not a short. Way to stick with it. Way to stick with it, buddy. Oh, I did not see what the Pistons did last night. Shit. The bids come in, you stay above them. Stay above them. Check some news. See what's going on in the world. Check some zero hedge. Iran proclaims safe toll-free passage for 30 Chinese tankers amid Xi-Trump summit. Okay, cool. Yeah, we already know the British government's falling apart. We know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Damn S&Ps. Fucking, like, you can't argue with this, folks, man. It keeps going higher. Shorting, that is not a bit. Whoa, look at that heavy activity on the bid on crude. Oh, come on, Trade of 8. You're fucking killing me. What are you doing? Okay. My screen's just completely white on Trade of 8. Oh, fucking awesome. Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna restart Trade of 8. And that's fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. All right, I'm gonna change the screens real quick while I log in. Trade of 8, it's been acting fucking weird this morning. But it's just another day with Trade of 8. Okay, let's see if it works. Loading. Loading. Okay, we're back. Heavy activity on the bid and crude, baby. What does that look like? I mean, I like this spot kind of on the weekly, honestly. All right, you get more bid activity here and you can't get below it. All right, just trying. Peek at S&Ps. All right, get back above the bids. Oh, yeah. That's 1047. Ay caramba. China Chi offered to help on Iran. Okay. Is that a good thing? All right, I'm gonna buy some crude here. 101.08. I'm gonna stop it at 76. 101.40 first target. Oh, wrong size. All right, stay above the bid. Oh my gosh, you jerk! Stay above the bids. Stay above the bids. Stay above the bids. Man, I like it. It's right. All the bids come in and you stayed above it, right? On the weekly distribution, this makes sense where you are. It kind of makes sense on the daily. I mean, it could easily get stopped and it could easily just stay advanced. Or I mean, easily keep going up, right? Because you're making lower lows, lower highs. The flow is bullish. I don't want this to sink my day though, fuckers. Come on, stay above the bids, man. Yeah, we're gonna get. Don't stop me. Don't stop me. Ah, you jerk. You jerk. It's gonna stop us for sure. I don't want to move the stop any lower than that though. It'll be too much risk. But you're not staying below the bids here. If there's a quick move up now, that'd be nice. But I mean, just the fact that that just happened, right? We're staying mostly above the bids here, but now you're not. And you're at the POC of the daily distribution. This should have been a heavy point of resistance. You shouldn't even have gotten this low if you were bullish, honestly. And now we're below this 101 key level. Yeah, it was just a matter of time we got stopped. Yeah, what a fucking dumb way to end the day. Yeah, dummy crude. Why'd you do that to me? Oh, well, oh my god, S&Ps, where are you going, guys? Woo. Just unable to find balance though anywhere. Like it's looking for it. It just really hasn't found it. Be nice to be balanced around 500 today. God damn it, right? I was like, it could easily stop us out and then march right fucking higher. Right? It's pretty heavy. What was the size of that? 67 something? Yeah, I don't know if I want to try it again. I don't want to be too much of a glutton for punishment. And we'll stick around for a few more minutes. I don't know if I really want to engage this again. And S&P is just off in no man's land now. There's just no retracement to get in at. None. None. Yeah, how flat topped it gets every time, and then you just break the flat top. Like, boom. Fucker. What does this look like on the 5 minute? Yeah, you fucker. Finally seen some bid activity on S&Ps. It's definitely not a long though. It's pretty heavily imbalanced on the offer at these levels. I mean, but in terms of like developed low volume areas, I mean, this is so freaking clean. Just weird. All right, you're testing all these areas. Like, hey, are we going to balance here? No. We'll test next area. Are you going to balance here? Nah. Nah. Screw is very thin. This is the next contract. Is this more volume? 200s. Nah, it's about the same. It's about the same. Yeah, crude. I don't want any other pieces of it. You jerk. Stole my profits for the day, you jerk. Oh well, can't be mad at the market. It's my fault. It looks good. It was in the spot that I thought made sense. Yeah, I still don't think that's like the top on S&Ps. And like anytime the bid activity comes in, it's just price doesn't get below it. All right, you can just scalp that for a few points if you must. Or up to 520. Because you'll test that high. It's a flat top. For shizzle. It's annoying. You get stopped out, you know. Yeah, it sucks. That's why you can't have a stop around the PLC so close to the PLC. Like if you get a bunch of bid activity again on crude here and price stays above it, it's a fucking long. But it's going to happen at a time that I can't trade it. Oh, whale. Oh, whales. So heavy bid activity. Now, if price resists the PLC, comes above this, and you kind of get it back above 101. I mean, price kind of just like sat right in the middle. Right in the middle of all that bid activity. If you wanted to get long on a pullback in S&Ps, what spot makes sense? Probably 10. Argument can be made for 514 low volume. This top is so freaking flat. S&Ps are going to march higher again. There's so much activity on the bid. It's heavy, right? And prices kind of didn't really get below it. Like you can almost just fucking scalp again right here. Jeez, Louise. Just keep our focus on S&Ps. Fuck crude. I feel like crude has been pretty light in the liquidity as of late, right? Look how broken this is. Zero prints everywhere. Yeah, crude's getting pretty heavy on the bid. Or at the value area low. Damn, part of me wants to really buy that. Yeah. Can't do it though. Can't do it. Because the time's 10:58. I gotta go in 2 minutes. Kids are still home from school. Yeah, it doesn't look like crude is popping above that bid activity. Yeah, it's just kind of holding. S&Ps will pop. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, goddamn. Oh, crude oil, crude oil, crude oil, crude oil. It ruined my day, crude oil. But not really. All right, folks, I think we'll conclude it there. It was a good trading day in S&Ps, bad trading day in crude oil. Just, you know, maybe I need to put in place a rule that says when you have all these zero prints and liquidity is just so broken like this and it's just not smooth, that just fucking avoid it. Right. But I feel like crude's like this a lot. And I stopped trading crude in October of last year because part of this reason is just a low liquid environment. Price jumped around a lot. You couldn't get good reads on it. And I was just like, just not worth the effort. But then when Iran started again and crude trading became popular again and price actually was moving around, now it's like price now is not moving around yet again. So did we just ditch crude altogether? Only trade it when there's good liquidity? I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that question is. I mean, part of order flow is you need liquidity to trade order flow. If you don't have liquidity, how are you an order flow trader of it, right? So S&P is trying to hold up. If you come down to 510 and there's a bunch of bid activity and you stay above it, fucking long that shit. That makes sense on the weekly distribution, and it makes sense here on the daily distribution, even though the weekly distribution is formed off just today, right? Yeah, so it's just the same point of reference. It's not an overlapping point of reference. But yeah, the absorption on the bid is real, folks. All right, well, I hope you had made some profits today. We'll see you for one more trading day tomorrow, bright and early, 9:30 a.m. I will think about crude and liquidity and whether or not we even want to look at it tomorrow. It's kind of a pain in the ass going back and forth, honestly. Right? I like being primarily focused on one thing, so I have in-depth knowledge of one thing and not float back and forth. But sometimes there's just no opportunities in S&Ps, and it's nice to have like another thing to trade. But we got that read wrong today. For shizzle. All right. Anyways, see you tomorrow. Best of luck. God bless you.